Time for another character build guide. What are we exploring today?
Exploring, you say, Ted? Let's explore the Underdark with the Dwarven Runner D&D character build guide.
I'm Nerdarchy Ted.
I'm Nerdarchy Steve. Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds.
Now let's make sure this build doesn't disappear into the Underdark.
So today we're building the Dwarven Tunnel Runner, and this is actually like an old concept of mine, and it's kind of like, how would I play a rogue or ranger type, more of like a martial dwarven build that's more about the environment and nature, but nature underground in the Underdark, and also from the standpoint of they're kind of like a military asset. They're the ones that are going to make sure that kobolds aren't trapping the mines. They have to go out and find the traps, remove the traps. Maybe they plan the ambushes. So it's not your typical straight up warrior style dwarf that you were used to. Matter of fact, they might even be like outcasts and kind of fringe characters in dwarven society, because they like wearing leather armor. They don't like big bulky weapons and armor, and maybe they blacken their weapons and their armor, things that other kind of dwarves would kind of scoff at and have a little bit of disdain for.
This is, the characters who aren't doing the things that the other dwarfs typically do. Beyond, weapons and armor, the activities, they're not so much into the crafting of stone and metal as much, but they get out there and they want to craft traps. They want to make the things that are going to protect their allies, even if they're not buddy with them.
And they also just might have more of an appreciation for the natural beauty of the Underdark and underground surroundings and caverns. They might be viewed as using the tactics of their enemies, so other dwarves may question their integrity and honor a little bit. But anyway, with that, let's get into it. This is a character build guide. That means two things. Down in the description, you'll be able to find that character sheet. I think you might need to be logged into D&D Beyond to open them up now, but you can get a free account and take a look at that. And the other thing is the character build guide over on the DMs Guild, which you can download for free. It's pay what you want, so you can get it for free or pay $1 million. It's all about what you want. And because, we are doing a character build using that D&D Beyond character sheet, it's only fair that we mention that D&D Beyond is a sponsor for Nerdarchy and this video in particular, so go check them out. And you can find links down in the description below. With it, let's jump in there.
All right, so we're making a Dwarven Tunnel Runner as our concept. So for our race options, we really don't have a whole lot of options. We're talking about a dwarf, and obviously there's only 3 official sub races. So we're obviously going to talk about mountain dwarf, hill dwarf, or Dwarven.
Yes, so class options, we have a lot more things that we can use over there. This is going to be a very martial build. So we're looking at barbarians, fighters, rangers, and rogues.
Now there's a couple subclasses that fit nicely into these, but we'll get more into that when we actually wind up choosing our build. As we stated, that we are looking at this as a very kind of military or militaristic type character build. So we were looking at soldier or city watch as kind of our premier two.
Yeah, you have criminal that might work out more like the spy, the idea of a commando. Folk hero could also work because something kind of happened to you. An investigator type would work as well. So there's actually quite a few choices that we could use.
Before we go any further, if you like these videos and you'd like to help Nerdarchy keep making more, why not head over to Patreon and support us over there?
As a special thank you, every month you'll receive 5e content for both players and DMs alike. Drop-in encounters, print and play magic item cards. We make magic items as just stated. We create spells, feats, races, subclasses, and so much more. There will be a link down in the description.
All right, so as we usually do, let's start off with our stats. So for physicals, we're going to have a 9 strength, a 14 dex, and a 14 constitution.
And mentals, we're going to go with intelligence of 12, wisdom of 14, and charisma of 9.
So obviously, you can see that we went with a point-buy system for this as opposed to the standard array. And with that, let's dive in. We went with a Duragar. This is going to give us access to a tool proficiency, those stat bonuses, and those cool spells, and the superior dark vision that we definitely were looking for.
Unfortunately, we're also going to get sunlight sensitivity, but we think this particular dwarf spends most of their time underground, so it's not a huge problem for them. It might be for you if you're playing this character in an adventure, though.
Indeed.
As a Dugar, we're also going to get Undercommon, and we took Mason tools because we're used to being around stone. Now, what about background?
So for our background, we're going to go with Soldier. We felt that was the most, military-like character. So this is going to give us athletics, intimidation, vehicles, land, and a gaming set. And because, it seemed to fit, chucking dice on the stone, easily portable. So that's what we're doing.
Now we have our character class, and our first level we were going to go with Rogue. We see this as being a very skill-heavy type character.
Going with Rogue, obviously we're going to get access to a handful of skills. So we're going to get Acrobatics, Perception, Investigation, and Stealth.
And don't forget, we're going to also get those Thieves tools. Very useful for disarming traps.
Indeed. And because, we are a first level rogue, we're going to get our choice of expertise. And for this one, we want this to be a very, watch heavy. So we're going to have our expertise in perception and investigation.
Yeah, rule number 1 being a tunnel runner is don't let the enemy get a drop on you.
Indeed.
So second level, we're going to go with Ranger, and we're also going to enable the optional rules from Tasha's Cauldron and everything. So we're going to get Death Explorer at our first level in Ranger. In addition, for multi-classing, it's going to give us access to martial weapons and light medium armor, as well as shields. Death Explorer is going to give us an expertise, which we're going to take in stealth, and also we're going to get 2 more languages. This part, it doesn't matter as much, but we're going to take Elvish and Gnomish because we want to be able to speak to those that dwell underneath. When we take Elvish, we're thinking Drow specifically.
And we are going to get a skill choice for taking the multi-class and the Ranger. For this, we're going to take Insight. We will interact with. The better you have at reading your adversary, the better you're going to be able to handle the situation.
So we also get Favorite Enemy, which we took Humanoids. I misspoke because the languages we actually took them from our Favorite Enemy, but we took Deep Speech and Primordial as our other languages for being a Ranger. We've got a lot of languages under our belt at this point. We're going to be good at communicating with creatures in the Underdark, but more so, I see this particular individual being the kind that is going to be hiding and spying and listening to the enemies to come back to the rest of the Dugar with their plans. We took Deep Speech also because a lot of aberrations have deep speech. So Dugar are the enemy of Mind Flayers.
Indeed. So, it's already a standard operating, procedure to, know your enemy. So the things that are going to be around you are pretty much your enemies. So the better you're able to understand and, as Dave says, report back, the better off you're going to be. So we've got a level in Ranger, we've got a level in Rogue. Where do we go to next?
We're going back to Rogue because cunning action is really good, and we want to get it. And also, if you're using the optional rules, this is kind of like a solo character that's going to be out on their own a lot. So that aim a bonus action for cunning action is really good too. Where if you don't move, you can make your next attack with, or you can make your attack with advantage, which we need to get our sneak attack off.
So from here, we're going to get 2 levels of Ranger. This is going to take us to level 2, giving us our fighting style, which we're going to choose Archery. But then we're going to take our 3rd level, getting us access to our subclass, which we're going to take Gloomstalker.
Yeah, Gloomstalker is an excellent choice for this particular build because we're going to get that Umbral Sight, which it does 2 things. It extends our dark vision out 30 feet because we already have dark vision. So that takes us 150 feet. We can see further than most things. Secondly, it makes us undetectable by dark vision. So we are essentially invisible in the Underdark to other races that do not use a light source or that, just rely wholly on dark vision.
Yeah, this is going to be super helpful for this type of character. You're just going to blend into the stone that's around you, and this is going to be your primary example. So from here, everything else kind of builds on top of this concept. But here is where, we feel like everything really locks in, and you're awesome at what you do.
Yeah, and also we took Archery because we see this character being a dwarf. We see them using a heavy crossbow a lot. It's got really good range. It does a lot of damage. And, they can get that first shot off, and then they can draw their short swords from there when they need to get in close and personal. Another reason we go with Gloomstalker is Dread Ambusher. That first round, you get 10 foot of extra movement, super useful. You get an extra attack, and also you get to do an extra die 8 of damage with that extra attack as well. If we take that first shot with the crossbow, then we're probably going to have to drop it, draw a short sword, rush in close. We'll need that extra movement to get there, and unleash another flurry of attacks.
So a lot of useful things, a lot of things connecting. But we're a 5th level character. We go to a level in Rogue next, so that we can be able to get our subclass there.
And we're going to go with Scout. Scout is going to give a Skirmisher at 3rd level, which, as a reaction, when someone ends their turn next to you, you can move up to half of your movement away from them, which is useful, especially if we want to use ranged and we don't want people close to us. It gives us an opportunity to back off. It also gives us 2 more skills, but not only does it give us 2 more skills with expertise, survival, as well as knowledge of nature. I guess it's not knowledge anymore, but nature.
we still say that even though we know it's wrong. So this character, while we don't have a super high intelligence, we're relying on those expertises to really maximize what this character is capable of.
Now we want to jump back to Ranger for 2 levels.
All right, so this is going to give us, number 1, our first ASI, and from here we're going to pick up Crossbow Expert, and then 5th level because we really want that extra attack.
Yeah, and not only that, at this point we're also going to get access to more Ranger spells. We've been getting Ranger spells, but now we can also get Pass Without Trace. So we're going to be even better at evading our enemies, so we can use those hit and run tactics that a scout or a Dwarven tunnel runner would be known for.
So from here we go to Rogue. Basically, we're looking to just pick up that ASI, and we're gonna finally bump up that pretty low dexterity. So this is gonna give us a 16.
We're going to get 2 more levels of Ranger. We're going to get another favorite enemy. We'll take Monstrosities. Seems like something we might run into in the Underdark.
And we're going to wind up getting another language with this, so we're going to take Draconic.
We're also going to get, as a 7th level Ranger, Iron Mind, which just gives us proficiency in Wisdom saving throws. Super useful. If you happen to have proficiency in it already, you can take Intelligence or Charisma, but we won't. Being a rogue, we're going to have Dex, Intelligence, and now Wisdom. So we're doing pretty good on our saves.
There's a lot of things that exist within the Underdark that have mind-affecting things. So having a good Wisdom save is going to be very useful for us, especially since, we don't really have that high Wisdom. And as we previously stated, Duergars don't like Mind Flayers, and Mind Flayers, are definitely known for some of those abilities.
From here on out, it's Rogue all the way. So we're going to end up with 7 levels of Ranger and 13 levels of Rogue. So what are some of the cool things we're going to pick up along the way, Ted?
So we're going to pick up another Expertise. So this is going to give us access to expertise in Athletics as well as Thieves' Tools. Let's face it, if we're, looking at disarming traps, it's best to be best at it. We're also going to, come up with some more ASIs, and for this we're going to max out our dexterity so that we still, finish off with a strong 20.
We're going to, before that, get Evasion, which is a super useful ability. Always half damage from when you fail a dex save, no damage when you pass. Really good.
Indeed. So our final 3 levels, are going to give us some amazing abilities. We're going to get, Reliable Talent, which is going to be super helpful, on those, low-end skill rolls. We're going to get access to our last ASI, which we're going to take Sharpshooter. And then for our 13th level in Rogue, our 20th level ability, we're going to get Ambush Master.
Yeah, so all in all, this is going to be a fun character to play. This character is going to excel in dungeons and the Underdark, but I think you're going to find a lot of these abilities useful pretty much anywhere you are. It's a character that is going to be very skill heavy, have a lot of ability to mitigate damage by by getting out of the way and not being there, or being unseen, and it's going to hit really hard.
There's a lot of things that this character can do. Imagine, on that first round of combat, being able to, if you crit on top of all of the sneak attack dice and your Gloomstalker dice, you could dump a lot of damage in that first attack.
So now we get to the part of the video where we discuss how do we use this as an NPC.
So this is, kind of built right into it. This is a, potential solo encounter. Either, this could be something where it's a random friendly / neutral thing that's out there. You're exploring the Underdark. You come across this thing, and by a fluke, you manage to actually spot it. Or maybe you've been sitting in camp, and the smell of whatever you're roasting winds up getting over on the dude who's been sitting there watching you guys, listening to everything you're saying for the last couple hours, and they decide they're going to just kind of materialize out of the darkness and approach, asking for a bite to eat, a way to have a nice friendly encounter. Or this is totally the lead up to an ambush attack from a set of Dwargar. Perhaps this one was taken over by that enemy of Mind Flayers, and they've been using this thing as its scout because that's what it's built for.
I mean, yeah, forget that friendly stuff. Like, your player's been pissing you off with dark vision. They never even want to light a torch. Fine, don't. They can't see this guy. He's invisible to them. He has cast Pass Without Trace. He's an expert at stealth. The chances of them finding him is virtually impossible. They're just getting rained on with heavy crossbow bolts from all over the place. They think there's a whole army out there. There's not. It's one Dugar with a crossbow that can see out to 150 feet in the Underdark and is invisible to their dark vision. And it is just going to be terrifying for your players. And once they finally do pin this guy down, or gal, as the case may be, they are going to be so humble. Because, they're not even area of effect things like evasion, right? There's a good chance like they are taking half damage or no damage. And also like the wizard lobs a lucky fireball. It explodes. It backlights this lone figure, but then like the light fades and it's completely invisible again, and they can't see it. It's like, did you ever want to like run the Predator scenario from the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie back in the 80s? That's this guy. He's just like lighting them up, and like, I don't know, they better find some mud to rub on themselves or something, because they're in for a bad time.
So I think all of that, is definitely comical. I wouldn't throw out the friendly encounter, as Dave suggests. It's a possibility, and it could just be, a ruse to gather more information. Who knows? But play with it as you will. This guy is totally set up to be able to do a lot of hurt, on a party that's not suspecting a lone, essentially invisible character in the Underdark.
Let us know what you think down below. Share your Dwarven Tunnel Runner builds and how you would do it with the Nerdarchy community.
While you're down there, don't forget to do all those fun things like, share, subscribe, even go ahead and attune to that notification bell.
And a quick reminder, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we drop new videos. Come on back. But hey, you can't wait till then? That's okay. We got you covered. Here's another character build guide up here you can check out. The Staff Master.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.